Hello, everybody. 1 minute short, 1 minute late. Everybody probably hit the road already. My name's Gary. This is Jolly Roger Ukulele's members meeting, and we're going to be playing some Beatles tonight. The three songs, All My Loving, Hey Jude, and I Want to Hold Your Hand. I Want to Hold Your Hand I was just playing through it here for maybe the bazillionth time, still finding more things that are not as good as I want them to be, and so we'll be making a few changes as we go. Last week we talked about the fact that I had some changes that needed to be made on Hey Jude, and in playing them I realized that the sheet is perfectly fine. My brain is wrong, and so we made some adjustments. Anyway, the sheet is fine. My brain is not necessarily always great. Let's see, what else are we talking about tonight? That's it. That's enough for tonight. So, as people are logging in here, make sure your ukulele is in tune. George Clooney eats apples. If you're on baritone, it's D-G-B-E, dog bone. And don't be a Gary. Spend a little bit more time changing your strings. These strings are super old. They sound super old. And this week, one of my goals is to change those strings. LG is in. The monetization was on. Uh-oh. Let's fix that really quick. I can fix that by going to... what does it say? Delay ads. All right, I can delay the ads for 10 minutes. I didn't know I could do that. Oh, that's fascinating. Create highlight videos. Where else can I change that? Oh, I know how to fix it for good. Hold on. Edit. Monetization. Oh, I see. I went there and I just didn't do this. Monetization is now off. All right. So sorry about that, guys. That's why it took you guys longer to get here than usual. You're like, can't get through the ad wall. All right, sorry about that. Hey, Jennifer. Hey, Elizabeth. Hey, Rita. Look at this. This is sort of the who's who of ukulele playing. Good to have all of you here. Hey, let's go fast tonight. Let's just play music, and let's have less Gary talking and more you playing. How about that? Jolly Roger Ukulele Beatles. Let me add in I Want to Hold Your Hand. There's a couple of mistakes on the I Want to Hold Your Hand page that I want you to be aware of. How did I spell that? I want to hold your hand. Baritone. I want to hold your hand. Ukulele. All right. And so when we get there, we'll talk about it. Okay. So don't check out quite yet. Let's play a couple of songs and then we'll get going. There's Earth Exclamation here. Good to see you, Alexis. And hey, Kat, how are you? Kamos, good. Welcome in. Okay, so we are getting, let's go grab All My Loving. Ukulele style first. We usually start with ukulele because, I mean, as much as I try to say we're going to be baritone equivalent, the truth is ukulele's always first, baritone's always second, but we do take baritone seriously. All right, All My Loving. There's really no changes to the sheet music other than secretarial stuff. And for me, the hard part is at measure 30, you have this finger on 2 and the other finger way up here on 7. Right, so that's what you're trying to do there. That's the only, technically hard spot on the whole song. Much harder on baritone, really long reach, but on ukulele, hopefully we can do it. All right, so All My Loving from the top. I will coach you through the repeats as we get there. We do the middle part twice, basically, and here's where we start. Okay, take your time. We'll go slow, right? Hopefully everything is going to be fantastic. Let me click this page on. All right. By the way, I know at least one of you is relatively new to playing. You're playing the melody, right? Just don't worry. Don't think about the tough you yet. Okay, melody. It's gonna work. Promise. From the top. 1, 2. 2. Major 19. Page 1. Second ending. Measure 19. Second ending. Measure 29. Big chord. Really slow. Isn't that lovely? It actually works, man. Not brutal to play, right? Mostly in our wheelhouse. All right. Now let's switch to baritone. If you are sitting with a ukulele in your lap, your job is to magically switch to chords. Right now you are tragically scrambling through all the chords to make sure that you know all of them. And hopefully at this level there's nothing on there that's surprising to you. It is. It's all standard issue chords. So you're going to play the ukulele chords while I hack my way through the tough uke. And we're gonna sound amazing. And if you have a baritone at your house, hopefully you all do at this point, well, let's play it that way. Let me find the baritone sheet. All right, ready? Somebody else came in. I thought, what kind of uke are you playing? And the sound is very good. That's an Ohana. Right at the beginning of the pandemic, I had this lovely arsenal of ukuleles for sale. And I was like, oh dear, I'm not going to sell any of these now for a while. So I picked the best one to play on these broadcasts and took it home because at the time all of my high G ukuleles were pretty crummy. That's still the case. I still believe in cheap, run-of-the-mill, bottom of the line ukuleles. Like, that's always been my thing. Like, you shouldn't have to spend a ton of money on this to do something nice. However, because I was online every single day for 2 years or something, I used that one from the studio, and unfortunately it definitely needs a string change right now, Elizabeth. So yeah, it's an Ohana. I don't even remember what number it is anymore. Number TK470G. I don't think they make them anymore. The thing that's kind of nice about it, if you're ever looking for a ukulele, they've got this soft edge on here. I don't know if you can see that, but it's that kind where they give you that way it doesn't dig into your arm quite as much, and it's really, I love that part of it. And I don't remember what the material is. I think this is mahogany, and I don't remember what this is, but it's really quite a lovely instrument. And it's been my only real high G now for a bunch of years. I have several Kamakas, but none of them are high G. Well, I have a high G soprano, which is a cool ukulele. That's the main one I carry around when I go places, but it doesn't quite have the depth of sound that a tenor does, so that's why I'm playing that one. Yeah, so it's an Ohana is the answer. Long answer to that. All right, now let's play this one. This is a Kamaka baritone. Okay, I spent a stupid amount of money on it. It sounds exactly like all my other way less expensive baritones, but it's a Kamaka, so you know, means I'm playing the good stuff. Apparently, supposedly. All right, you're on chords if you're on ukulele. The rest of you are either on melody or oh, I forgot. We can do this. There is an ensemble version of this, but use your baritone ukulele. Make sure you're using the baritone solo ukulele sheet. This is confusing sometimes. So there's 3 sheets on the website. One says baritone ukulele and one says baritone ensemble. Don't use the ensemble one right now. Let's use the baritone solo sheet. How will you know the difference? Oh, the way you know the difference is there's a tough uke on the correct on the sheet we're going to use. There is not a tough uke on the other sheet. Okay, so it should say September 30th, 2022. It should have a tough uke line, and then it says baritone ukulele right underneath All My Loving. Just make sure you got the right sheet music. Okay, and it is identical to what we just played on ukulele. Your chords here, let me make sure, are all factory issues, so there's no crazy chords that you probably don't know. Just remember, if you're on ukulele, don't look at the grid, look at the name of the chord. That's what you're trying to play. All right, I think we've been through this a zillion times. From the top. Oh, and if you're new, you're playing melody. Oh no, you're not playing melody. If you're new, you're on ukulele, you're playing chords. All right, here we go. 1, 2. Top. Page 2. Back to the top. Major 19. Second ending. Slow it down. Big jump here. Isn't that lovely? That's actually a really good song, you guys. Honestly, the arrangement is not too hard to play, and it is very peaceful. I don't necessarily know I was getting exactly the right timing on all those notes. Let's put it this way. I know I wasn't getting exactly the right timing on all those notes, but what I was doing was I was channeling what the lyrics are, what I remember from the Beatles recording of this, just getting it as close to what I like to play as I want, and hopefully it was making sense with you. Just a really lovely piece of music, and I think would do you, along with Blackbird, which we just finished up last week, and Eleanor Rigby. Now you got three really solid pieces of music to add to your repertoire. And all right, let's take a look at Hey Jude. I mentioned last week I had a mistake on a chord. I do not have a mistake on a chord. I was just stupid when I was reading it. So let's go, since I got baritone around me, let's just stick on baritone here. Well, we'll have you ukulele players just play the chords here. But baritone players, I said, oh, the chord is wrong. I went through, I sat down, I was looking and looking and looking at it, and I'm going, oh no, it's not that it was wrong. I thought, because I'm always in a hurry, I was supposed to play bar on 5, 6, 7, 7, which is not the right chord. And I was like, man, that sounds terrible. I gotta go fix it. This is why. This is a major chord shape. And then when I add on this weird melody note, the Beatles are pretty regular, pretty common to put the wrong melody note in on a chord. And so I wasn't too worried about that, but nothing was right out of this. Especially when I'm looking at an A7 and I'm going, wait a minute, that's not at all how this is supposed to sound. Here's the problem. Middle finger on the third string. There's what we're looking for. Okay, so what you're going to do there, probably, your B flat shape from ukulele or your F shape on baritone, up to the 5th fret, and then add your pinky on at 7, and that's fine. Fascinating. When I was playing the ukulele version, that's not there, right? If you go to measure 7, I'm giving you this one, right? And so it's interesting that on baritone it probably sounds better on the higher chord shape, and on ukulele it sounds better on the lower chord shape. So the reality is you could play here, right? But then you got this melody note problem, and so by moving it up the neck on the baritone, we end up with a couple of weird chord shapes here, and that one in particular is a bit galling. You're like, oh, what do I do there? So make your F shape baritone players, and then put your pinky there on 7. So you got to kind of squish it under. Okay, so we will have a chance to play this again next week, because some of you are probably like, I'm not going to mess with that if he's supposedly fixing it and he never gets anything done. So it's fine. Okay, so we'll go through it, we'll play it today, we'll make sure that everything, and if you have questions, obviously, let's talk about them either here online, like Elizabeth did, or you can send me an email. I am pretty much caught up with emails. I had 3 weeks of crazy around here, and there's 1 or 2 emails I haven't gotten to, but most of them, those from the olden days, I'm probably just going to delete them all, because I'll never get to them, but yeah, so feel free to toss me an email if you are wondering what's going on with this stupid song. All right, let's play it. Okay, ukulele players, you're on chords. Hopefully you've taken time to look up what those chords look like if you do not know them, and then most of them you'll know. And then baritone players, either your melody or you're on tough uke. 1, 2, 3. Let it ring. Whoop. Okay, keep going. We're going to start from the top. You know how they have these dots here that are supposed to be super helpful? this is 14 frets to the body. So when I see this dot here, I think that's 10. That's not 10. This is 10. These two extra frets here are for show, right? This is 13 and 14. That's usually not that way. So when I look down, I'll grab this thinking it was a 10. And then I've already made one serious error in the thing. And so at some point you're like, I don't think he knows what he's doing. So let's start from the top. I do mostly know what I'm doing. Not always, but mostly. All right, here we go. From the top. 1, 2, 3. Okay, back to the top. Keep messing that up. Keep going. 10. Okay, and then we're going to go all the way back to measure 1. Go. Okay, keep going. Measure 10. I don't like that chord at all. I'm gonna take a look at that one. All right. So much harder piece to play than whatever we just played. So hopefully, clearly I need to put in a little bit more work on it too, but you got the big idea, right? And so hopefully if you're on baritone, you're like, I'm going to have to practice that one in order to make it sound, to make it coffee shop ready. That's my I don't know if it's a goal necessary, but it's sort of like, do I know how to play this well enough to pull it off at a coffee shop? Clearly I need a little bit more time with that one, which luckily we're not done with it this week. We are going to play it one more week, so one more week to get it right. All right, ukulele players. All right, now that I've been through it 10 times, hopefully I will get some of the notes right. And there are moments in this arrangement that are a little bit different than the baritone version, so maybe they're easier. We'll find out. It's definitely more complicated. And the cool part is it's in the same key, right? So that's why a lot of the fingering is different. I think the baritone version sounds nice, but I do think it's definitely hard to play. Let's look at the ukulele version and see what we do. Baritone players, you already have the chords in front of you. You can actually use the baritone sheet on this because they're designed to be played not really together, but they are in the same key. All right, let's give it a try. Ukulele version. 1, 2, 3. To the top. Second ending. Second page. Come on. Five. Oh, it's this chord. Sure, E7 shape. Okay, bong, bong. Let's go back to the top. Measure 1, go. Measure 10. second ending. All right, so it's a much better arrangement for ukulele than for baritone. Okay. Luckily, I have one more week to finish practicing these things to get them nice and clean and pretty and smooth for you, which I will do this week. But I don't see anything wrong with it. It's interesting. I got to that mess of notes at 21, and I'm thinking B flat, and I should have looked up, because if it says A7, I know right away what to do. This whole business at the 5th fret can be quite distressing for me. Apparently, I've had a rough week with that. All right, so those are our 2 songs. All My Loving, out the window. This week, I want you to dig into Hey Jude. Let's get this finished up. Next week we'll play it, and it'll be just beautiful. We'll make people weep. And then let's dive into I Want to Hold Your Hand. And then the week after that, we're going to start adding in Imagine. Now, right now on the website, there's only the ukulele version, but this week I'm going to clean that one up. I played through it the other day. It seems pretty close already. And then I'll make the baritone version of it. So Imagine is coming, and that is a song we only play at Christmas time, but it is I don't know why we only play it at Christmas time. It's a good song. Okay. And all right, that's what's coming. I Want to Hold Your Hand. Let's go take a look. We'll learn it on ukulele, and then baritone will be basically the same thing. And yeah. So I was playing through this right before class, and there is one thing there's 3 things I want to change. There are multiple things I need to change, and so you'll listen to me now. When we get there, you're going to see what I need to do with it. Okay, so it's cleared out at the bottom page. We'll talk about it when we get there. Okay, I Want to Hold Your Hand. Oh yeah, I'll tell you something. I think you'll understand. You guys know the song. Okay, now if I'm playing melody, okay, I think you'll understand. Okay, or sometimes you can also sometimes hear it done as I think you'll understand. Okay, so whatever happened there, we're going to the high octave, right? And so the melody itself is peaceful until you get to measure 9, when you got to go up to 8. Okay, and you notice if you are playing melody, that's a lot of. Okay, it's all the way down. But when it's a run like that, it's usually better than when it's jump, 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 which I felt like in the last song we were sort of bouncing around, and definitely the song before that you're bouncing up and down a little bit on the first string. It's part of music, it's what's going to happen. But I want to hold your da-da-da-dum-dum. When you see that, and you can see it in the standard notation, right? Blump, 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 blump. That's one of the things that standard notation does that's way better than tablature, is it shows you the music moving up and down pitch-wise, and it's super helpful, sort of, right? And so as a singer, I want to hold your hand, right? And you can just see it really cleanly on the standard notation, whereas with tablature you can't see that, right? It's just all this, it's not clear where the general trend of the music. That's why you always get both from me, because they both give you different types of information that are helpful. Now if you're on tough uke, okay, same thing as last time. So usually you're going to start with your chord, okay? But in this case, you got a 3, 5. So I'm thinking I'm probably going to use my ring, pinky, chord, and then I'm probably pulling my pinky down onto that 3. Now this has a decoration note. The singer doesn't sing this 0. You as the player, you as the instrumentalist play it. Singer comes back in. Now the singer's going to keep going, oh yeah, oh, and you're going to go bong in the middle of that, and then they're going to go, I tell you something. Okay, now let's talk about pull-offs for just a second because they are kind of fun. In this case, if I go, you see that one there? Okay, I'm going to hold the one down. I'm going to pluck it with this finger, and then I'm going to pull it off with this finger. Okay, so you play those two notes, but you've only plucked it once. This is a handy thing for you to start looking for moments in songs when you can do this. I don't always mark them, right? So because at some point you just know to do it, and also it clogs up the music sometimes. If I'm really passionate that you do a pull out there, I'll put a little swooshy there, but for the most part I don't do that because I'm not that passionate about it. But so you're at measure 1, hit the 1 and then pull it off, and as you're pulling it off you're actually dragging this finger down to get the next note. Okay, because you're now playing a 0 is what you're playing. Okay, and then we're going to do it again. We're going to strum this chord. All right, so just pull it up. Excuse me. The desert warmed up today, and I think all of the pollen in the entire world was released. It's headed your way eventually. I'm getting it first, I think. All right, so something, bong, bong. Okay, again, singer's going to go something, and you're going to go bong, bong underneath them. Okay, D minor, play that. Okay, and now when you see boring melodies like that, I think you'll make sure you just honor the length of the notes. And don't get in a rush there. And then look, we got A minor here. This is a mess. You're going to hate it. Index fingers on 4, 2 fingers around 5, and your pinky up on 7. Okay, so here's what I want you to think of. You know how you make a G7 here? Okay, put it up on the higher strings and slide it up to 4. Okay. If you just do that, this is the wrong note. Right, so let's fix that note by making that there. Okay, hope you'll understand. Okay, bong, bong. And then you're going to pull your pinky back to get this 5. The same as the beginning. So the only thing you really have to take a minute to think about is measure 4, right? Come up, G7 shape on the upper strings at fret 4, add your pinky. Pull your pinky back to get this 5. And here's another fun thing to do. When you hit that 5, use your pinky obviously, and then drag it back and you get a little, right? You get that little slide there. So now you're doing slides and pull-offs in the same piece. And if any electric guitar player ever sees you do that, they'll be like, "Oh, I love that person." It's a way to get to get you an electric guitar playing boyfriend or girlfriend, right? Just helping your dating life if you need that. All right, where were we? Major 5. Measure 6. Okay, regular A7. Now, what you have on your paper is a regular B flat, right? Which is fine. It works perfectly good. But the problem is then you have to get off of it right away. And you've got to jump up to 8, 7, 5, 3. So, if you do that, it's perfectly fine. It's not a problem. However, I think I would rather have you do your high B flat. So that's a bar on 5 and an F shape in front. So bar on 5, 6 on the second string, and 7 on the fourth string. Okay, so that instead of this B flat, we're going to do this B flat. And then your pinky's right where it needs to be. Okay, so I think I'm going to change it. Okay, to do that. There's way less motion. This probably sounds a little better. But you have to absolutely abandon the chord to go up and get the 8, and then you're shooting in the dark trying to hit the 8. Okay, so let's plan on F bar on 5, F shape in front of it. That's a B flat. And then your pinky goes down an 8, 7, 5, and then go down to your C chord. Okay, so that's what we'll be working on there. I'm going to change that chord to, and if you're reading it from the bottom, 7, 5, 6, 5, or if you're reading it from the top, 5, 6, 5, 7. Okay, and so I am going to change that in the sheet music. Not that it sounds better. It sounds fine either way, but this makes playing the melody that comes after it a little easier, a little more sensible, and you don't have to abandon the whole chord. If you get really good at it, you can hold the chord through that entire run, 8, 7, 5, and then you slide down to your C chord. Okay, so that's going to change. We're going to do that exact same change in 2 other places. Okay, well, 3 other places, because the same thing happens at 11. Okay, so at 11, you've got, again, B flat, 8, 7, 5, 3. So let's just do the high B flat. Okay, so there's that. Now the little doodly doo there in 10 is just kind of listen to it, how the singer might do it. Hand, right? Hand. That's why those 16th notes are mixed in there. Get it close. Make yourself happy. Okay, and however as easy as for you, you could probably pull out that 3 to 1. Pull out the 1 to 0. Okay, so think about possibly doing some pull-offs in there. Okay, and then again at 11, high B flat. Repeat. Okay, so then go back to 1, come back down. Now notice at measure 10, there's a little coda sitting in there. By the way, I do crossword puzzles all the time, and the phrase coda comes up all of the time in crossword puzzles, and they always clue it as ending of the musical piece. That's not what codas really do. Codas take you from one spot to another. Now, it's typical they take you to a new ending, but not always. And so when they clue it, I'm like, that's sort of right about codas, but not really. It's way too simplified. I feel like when they have math clues in the crossword puzzle, then all the mathematicians come on and go, that's not right. That's how I feel about music. That one particular music. Usually they're right. not on that. All right, so you go back and repeat. But when you come down the 3rd time, pay attention. I would take my yellow highlighter, click, and put that on there. The 3rd time through, you're going to jump all the way to 25. That's the ending in this case. So in this case, the crossword puzzles are correct. Let's take a look at page 2. Now, when you get to measure 13, done, done, done. Okay, one other little change I want to make here. You see at 14 you want to do a bar on 3. Okay, isn't that a cool chord? Okay, that sets the stage that we're now in a new part of the song. And bling, and now I have a 1 there. And I think it makes more sense to play an 8 on the 2nd string. You're going to use your pinky and play an 8 on the 2nd string. The reason is that way you don't have to pull up your chord and you still get your melody note in. Okay? So if I go strum 3, pinky 5, and then I'm going to use my ring finger for the 5. Okay? So the 5 is fine. I'm just going to use my ring finger. Okay, so is that 8 or 6? Wait a minute, hold on. It's 6, not 8, 6. This is 8. That's the wrong note. Play a 6 on the 2nd string. instead of a 1 on the first string. And then, I was busy playing that. It never occurred to me it wasn't an 8. Okay, that sounds nice. And it's easier to play that way. Okay, kids, just hold the bar. Hard to believe this song was written over 60 years ago. Isn't that something? I mean, especially if you were around when it was popular, you're like, wait a minute, what has happened to my life? Okay, so we've got that. Then look what you got, an F7. Okay, at measure 15. Okay, and guys, again, we talk about this. I teach you in Jolly Roger unit number 7 to learn E7, right? Index, middle, and ring. Okay. Now, when you bar chord this thing, this goofy shape is easier to be bar chorded just with a single finger. Then you're going to switch out middle, ring, and pinky. Had I known this when I started playing ukulele way back in the day, that this was how to make an F7. They taught it without the pinky on there, right? And so I was like, oh, F7's just this weird shape that doesn't seem to relate to anything else. Well, if you put your pinky there, it's just an E7 with your pinky, with your index finger serving as the bar here. Okay, that's what you're playing right there, okay? And that's going to become handy because F, G, and A. That's going to come up a lot. And so just get comfy with that. Okay, so that's your F7. And when I touch you, your 1 goes down, then back up. I feel. You're going to have to add your pinky on to get the 3. Feel. And then just do the partial B flat. You don't need to do the whole thing. Just 1, 2, 3. 3, 2, 1. Happy in G minor. I'm just going to drop my ring finger. Side, bum, bum. Add my index. Back to the big chord. Drum, done. And then again, this 1 here, play it as a 6 on the 2nd string. Life will be easier. 5 with your ring finger. And then back to that same F7 with your pinky. Drop your index, pick it back up. B flat, just 3, 2, 1. And now you drop your 1. Ring finger. Bum, bum, bum. Wham, wham. Hear it? We're going to do it again. Okay. That sounds amazing. Now go back to 1. Right, so we repeat to 1, and you're like so proud of yourself. You're like, oh, I remembered to do the repeat, and you go all the way around, play all the way down to 10. I want to hold your hand, and then that's why you need a foot pedal for your iPad. Click over, and you're going to jump all the way to 25. Okay, I want to hold your hand, and I want to hold your hand. I want to hold your hand. That's what we're going to do there. And again, at 25 and 27, you have the low B flat. When I update the music, I'm going to put a high B flat. Hand, dun, dun, dun. High B flat. And then it goes back up. That's not, there it goes. Okay, and look at that mess. 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so take a minute to figure it out. 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so I don't have a lot of advice on how to help you with this one, other than look at what you're really doing. You're really doing a B flat, high B flat, F shape, pinky on 8. And then a regular F chord. Okay, so the ending should sound like, let me do it. So if I go from 26, so you're getting a false ending. You're thinking, I want to hold your hand. That's what you're expecting, but I'm going to give you this. So it's a hand kind of thing, right? So the singer's going to be losing their mind that's not quite the chord they're looking for, but give me 3 more beats and whoosh, then we resolve it. Okay, so that's what's going on there. If you're playing melody, you just have a regular F at the end. Okay, so plenty of interesting and complicated stuff here. Definitely harder than All My Loving, for sure. Probably not as hard as Hey Jude. And so it's in between there. Pay attention to your repeats on this one. Pretty challenging. Baritones, you guys are exactly the same as ukulele, so we don't need to go over it. Yeah, so there's that. And yeah, Elizabeth is saying, did anybody see Paul McCartney and Paul Simon on the SNL 50 show? I actually watched that concert. Went on for about 7.5 hours, as far as I could tell. It just went on and on. I finally was like, phooey, I'm going to bed. I did see Paul McCartney. It was interesting to see a lot of the young musicians that I don't necessarily know as well. Yeah, it was actually a surprisingly fun concert to watch for the most part. There was a couple of turkey performances in there, but if you didn't see it, might be worth your time to go find it online somewhere, because it was kind of fun. A lot of pretty big names hanging around there. The funniest one was the middle school teachers that Will Ferrell, and I forget her name, playing the piano. Oh, hilarious stuff there. Gonna go check it out. Yeah, Kat. I don't usually recommend going and listening to much, but it was fun, and and of course you'll know most everybody. SNL has a pretty good way of picking people who are not famous, who are suddenly famous the next week, and now when you go back 50 years later, all those people are famous. And you at the time you're like, I don't know who those people are. Yeah, Chevy Chase, all that. I mean, a lot of with SNL, right? Week to week, you're like, I don't know if I like this show anymore. But if you take 50 years and condense it down to an evening of entertainment, it worked pretty well. All right, kids. Hey, it was really good to hang out with you guys tonight. And the Dead String Quartet opener. Yeah, I mean, honestly, plenty of funny stuff. Because they had the show part first, or at least the way it was broadcast here, the show part first, and then they broadcast the concert. So it ended up being a whole night of TV. And I'm classic for being, hey, I need a 30-minute comedy, 20 minutes when they take out the commercials. And then I'm done with TV. But I held my interest most of the evening. Steve Martin. By the way, Steve Martin is very well respected as a banjo player. I have one student who's taking banjo from me, so I'm learning a whole bunch about banjo these days. And playing ukulele is a much better idea. Okay, in case you would cross your mind like, maybe I'll take a banjo. Don't take a banjo. If you want to play a banjo-lele, same exact tuning as this, and you'll get that banjo flavor without all of the banjo work. And they have a very, very weird thing where they plant these 2 fingers right here, and everything is done with these 3 fingers. Everything, literally everything. And my student and I were both like, I think that seems dumb. I think we should just go ahead and use the ring finger. And I'm like, well, don't tell any banjo players you're doing that, but we can. And so he and I are violating the rules of banjo-dom a little bit. And yeah, I love Steve Martin overall. That show he's in now with Murders in the Building, maybe not the funniest thing you've ever seen, but it's actually kind of like you kind of want to keep watching it because you're like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. The first season was particularly funny. All right, kids, that's enough for tonight. Have a wonderful week. I'm not changing that chord in Hey Jude, so I think you're fine with the sheet music that you have. I am going to update these B flats and a couple of the fingering choices on I Want to Hold Your Hand, and then I will be, as quickly as possible, cleaning up Imagine and getting that posted this week as well. Tell your friends that being a Jolly Roger Ukulele member is not too super expensive, and they get to play all this really amazing, great, high-level stuff. And every week we're going to just sit down and hang out and do that. So exciting to see all of you. Thank you guys for being here. Adam Sandler does a good uke in Steve Martin movie, The Mixed Nuts. Oh, well, we'll have to check it out. Adam Sandler is a surprisingly good musician on this SNL 50s show. He does this one song. It starts off kind of goofy, but toward about halfway through, you're like, oh, that's kind of touching. So, yeah. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for everything. Tell your friends, and I will talk to you next week. Peace.